Hi everyone, finally I'm doing this video. I'm excited. I am so behind showing my what I color videos. I haven't shown November, December, or January, so that's what I'm going to be showing you here. I have books and a bunch of Etsy printables and some Patreon printables. So I have some autumn and fall stuff, Christmas stuff, winter stuff. I'm just so behind, so I'm not going to show in any particular order. I did do what I colored in October video, which is all my pure Halloween stuff, and I can link that below. And that was months ago, but because I only had I didn't have as much time in November, December, and January, so I did little bits here and there, and I didn't finish all the ones in November. I didn't do till December. I didn't finish the details, and December ones I finished in January, and on and on. So anyway, so we're gonna start. I'm gonna start with the printables and show you my Etsy printables. So this is one of my faves. This one was from autumn and fall. This is Daria K. I always have trouble pronouncing her name. This was an Etsy printable, and I used entirely Copic markers on her skin, Copic markers for the leaves, and this was a light grayscale, the pumpkin. I think I just used some Spectrum Noir markers for the skirt and her hair, and the background was just pure Crafter's Corner alcohol markers because they have a big soft squishy nib and you can kind of blend for that tie-dye look. So I really like this. This is Autumn Fairy by Daria K. All right, next I have from Deborah Muller's new Miss Positivity book from one of her Etsy printables. Did this one. I decided I'm going to do this whole book, or whatever ones I do from the book, in bright popping colors, so sort of an inspirational and happy kind of a look. And so I did, you can see I did stickles on all the dots, and I messed up a lot because I was running out of half of them as I did them, so they're not complete. Stickles on her makeup, her jewels, liquid pearls, stickles here, and I'm a stickle freak, so after I finish all my other details, I go back in and I put in little stickles everywhere. And this was just done with some very inexpensive markers, nothing fancy whatsoever, but it made me happy and I liked looking at it. So that was from Miss Positivity. You can see her makeup there. All right, so next I have Hannah Lynn from one of her Patreons. I think this was an autumn fall Patreon, probably November, like the autumn harvest. I don't remember. So I just did stickles on the apples, corn, and like squash sign. I wanted all neutral earth tones in this. Again, all alcohol markers, Copic markers on the skin. The alcohol markers are just kind of random. What I use, I don't remember because this was back in November. That's the problem with waiting so long. I can't remember everything I used. But I think they were just some least inexpensive alcohol markers. I did with the skin tones there. All right. Next from Deborah Muller, I have a Christmas page, and I don't remember what this is from, if this was an Etsy printable or from one of her digital printed books. All of her Christmas books I generally buy, so I think this must be an Etsy printable. Oh no, this might have been her special. This might have been from one of her Christmas boxes, her limited Christmas boxes. And this year it was mostly all snow theme and snowmen, but I have several pictures from previous years I haven't done, so that might have been what this is, possibly. So that, and again, I wanted kind of alternative colors. With Deborah Muller stuff, I do like to do alternative colors, just because that's kind of what her style is like. So I thought this, and I did this all in pastels. This was done, not the background, which was an alcohol marker, but the pastels were all from a Spectrum Noir pastel marker set. And I put stickles, you can see, on her eyes again. Just on some little finishing details and her tattoos and whatnot. All right, next I have, I believe, another This was a Halloween one I never finished. I don't remember. Is this Daria K still? I know it's a Patreon page. It's got to be Daria's, but she always has the name on hers, so I'm not even sure I remember. I know it's a Patreon page though. But anyway, yeah, I wanted a pink and purple fairy with a purple sky, and I did the glitter accent, the silver stickles in her makeup, and like on her hair. And then on this moon, I put what they call the clear stickles, which is like called moon dust or something, just for like a little bit of that twinkly highlight. And then I did little white dots all throughout, and then I did those clear stickles on here. You can hear they're textured. So I really liked that. And look at my mountain she's on. I used Copic markers, 4 different browns, dark, medium, lighter, and then like a rust color for a little bit of that shadow effect. But I really liked this one a lot. And even her eyes were pink because, again, she's kind of a mystical fairy. All right, I have another Deborah Muller Christmas printable. This might be from her Gingerbread Wishes Kisses book, which I have a hard copy and a PDF, and this was actually the cover of it, of the actual book, but I wanted to print it, as I recall. So this one took forever. I don't know why. I don't like coloring baked goods. I have a hard time making food look natural with bread and cookies and things like that. Like, so it was just like I did all the middle and the background, then I gave up on the cookies because I was like, oh, how am I going to do that? Eventually, I feel like I made a lot of errors in here, so I let it sit for a long time. Like I used like a metallic for like the silver tray, but it ran out and then it smeared. But I did put like a lot of those stickles on her eyes and her bow, some of the cookies. So I don't know, I just feel like this whole thing was kind of a disaster. I wasn't real happy with it, so I let it sit for a long time. In December I was pretty sick for quite a bit. My grandson had RSV and pneumonia and every other disease imaginable from daycare, and I got a lot of it, and so I was putting very little effort into my pictures, and I only went back just a week or two ago and finally put in these stickle details on some of these pictures to finally get them finished. So like my December pictures were kind of crummy, and like I was just like, I don't really care, binge watching TV shows while I'm sick kind of a mode for about 3 weeks. There's another Deborah Muller Christmas one. I believe this is probably also from a Christmas coloring box, because I didn't actually, I bought her, I have the big giant chunky Christmas, all of her, the printed coloring book, the big red one that's like 250 Christmas pages from all of her books. I have that in PDF and hard copy, and I think I got this out of that, actually, now that I think about it. So little stickle details here. Again, basic alcohol marker. Like my, God, another one that I really got mad at, like my red marker ran out from the set I was using, so I tried to gradient it into pink, and they didn't blend well, and oh my gosh, December was terrible. Fortunately, I was better by about 2 days before Christmas, finally. So there are some Christmas ones I like. I actually did that I like, which is this one. I loved this one for whatever reason. I love my horse. Look at my horse. I did this, oops, this kind of dark red with the stickly gemstones. Gemstones on her face. I loved my teddy bear, which I used, when you see that kind of faded look, that's an alcohol marker blender, which is clear. So as soon as you put in like your 2 or 3 shades of brown, just take your white alcohol marker blender and some spots right when it's still a little wet and make it look like it's faded. So that's how I did that. I did that with the background too. And I really liked my rose. I used this rose. I was testing out some new mediums. Here I used the alcohol marker blender with Bic alcohol markers. which I haven't used a lot. So I was experimenting with those. All right, here is one of my New Year's ones. This is Daria K, and I left it white. I don't know why. I agonized over what color to do in the background. I was gonna use some pan pastels, but there's all these like bubbles, and I figured if I do anything, it's not gonna really show the bubbles, or if I try to go around it with a marker, it might bleed into the bubbles, and so I just decided to leave it white. So this one was available on Etsy for purchase, and I did use Copic Chow's on this. So for her glasses, you see how it's raised? These are the liquid pearls I put. For her champagne, I use gold stickles for a little bit of accent. And I put sparkles in her hair, and that's just like the little jar of stickles. I use my finger and dab it in, and I just rub it in. Same with her makeup, you can see. And yeah, and I use stickles all for like her earrings and stuff. So I just left it white. I mean, it's kind of boring, but sometimes it makes everything in the middle pop out. And again, I did pink and purple eyes to match her outfit, because I like the alternative look sometimes. And speaking of alternative, here's another alternative. This is Deborah Muller, another from Miss Positivity, another one of the real bright fun ones I decided to do. I use neons in this one, mostly neon colors. I started out in pencil. These are some new pencils I was testing, and these were the Mark Art pencil set. And I didn't like how they blend on this paper, because you see a lot of white there and smearing. It looks too faded, and I just didn't like it, so I gave up and I moved to alcohol marker for the rest. This wasn't really the right paper for those kind of pencils. So, but overall it was fun to do, and I did stickle centers on the little swirls. I thought this one was kind of fun. It's like a retro, kind of like a retro theme. Here is another, here's Christine Caron, one of my absolute favorites I did for November for fall. I left this one white as well, because I just thought these earth tones were so gorgeous with the dark turquoise, the yellows, the browns, the reds, and I just realized I didn't finish it. There's some little red berries and things I have here. I guess I didn't finish. I need to do that now. So I'll do that when I finish this video. But I loved these colors. I thought she was gorgeous. So for her eye makeup, I use Prismacolor pencils, which is how I like to do my eye makeup. Sometimes I'll put stickles on there for glittery makeup. But I love how I blended these. And these were done with the Hobby Lobby Master's Touch markers, which are great for blending. They're very similar to Copic's, but much more affordable. Same with her hat and everything. You can see. So I love this one. And I don't remember. Yeah, this was from Etsy also. Only 4 printables left. All right, here's another Halloween printable I never finished. Daria K. This is my green vampire. I did obviously pan pastels, green and purple, kind of tie-dye look for the background. I always do that last. The alcohol markers are, again, Master's Touch from Hobby Lobby, and I used yellow, green, blue, and orange for kind of that gradient effect. And Prismacolor pencils for her makeup. Stickles, obviously. Well, I do an underlayer of green, an underlayer of whatever color, and then the stickles on top, because sometimes if you just do stickles over the white, it won't look as good. Stickles on here, those little black curls. This is supposed to be blood. It looks like they're more fingernails. Her nails are black. It's supposed to be blood dripping down, and I rethought that after the fact, after I did the stickles on there, realizing that wasn't the best choice, but whatever. Some stickles on my bats. Yeah, but I really like this one. For whatever reason. Now we're back to Christmas. Just how behind I am. I have this gorgeous one from Lana Green, my pastel Christmas tree girl. I love her. She's so pretty. All pastels I wanted for this one. Pan pastels, like with a soft thing with the brush in the background, with turquoise, baby blue, and pink. very soft touch. I messed up there, obviously. So if you look at, so I used the same colors in the ornaments as I did in her dress. Or so like this pink is this pink, these blues are these blues, blah, blah, blah. So that it all kind of goes together. And again, Prismacolor pencils for her eye makeup. Lipstick was alcohol marker with a little glitter. If I go too close, does it make it blurry? Probably does. But her dress, lots of blending here with some different alcohol markers with that clear blender in the middle to kind of make it look like a faded color. Like 3 different greens and blues in her upper dress. Little stickle accents. I really liked her. She's pretty. Here's my... It's on her earrings. Yeah. So this one was also Etsy. I have a winter one. Kind of Christmassy by Daria K. I did this on the bigger A4 paper. That's why it's so long. Kind of gloomy snow day. Little bit of issues with my Posca white pen when I was blobbed one giant one there accidentally when I was shaking it. Never shake it over your picture. Live and learn. One there too. Did pan pastel grays. Put some snow dots on there. You know, gosh, those Posca pens annoy me because if you don't use it for like 2 weeks, they get kind of dry and you have to shake and smash it and get it flowing again. And it's kind of clumpy at first and they drive me nuts. I need to cut off this white bar on the bottom, but lots of Prismacolor pencil makeup on her face. And also her skin tones was Prismacolor pencils. So last printable for real before we go into the books. This one was Mariella Budek. Obviously this was a Halloween one. Pan pastels for the background. I did this one in October. I don't even remember what I used for the rest, to be honest. I know I just did the pan pastels the other day, like a quick touch up. So the rest was just, I have no idea. Alcohol marker. It was like just another incomplete picture that I was like, I gotta finish these. I'm gonna force myself to finish them. So, and I intentionally left a little bit of white around the characters when I do the pan pastels just to help them stand out a little. Okay, let's move on to my books. All right. Books. Got 2 Deborah Muller Christmas books, Sweet Christmas and Holiday Hair, both of which were new. Again, I was sick in December, so not a lot of great ones. This one was all right. This one, I think I started doing this before I got sick. I think I got sick during. More black marker, boo-boos here, that bled ink for when I was doing makeup. Basic alcohol marker on this whole scenario. No pencils at all. So this one was fun. This one, again, I was just trying to use up some basic old, very cheap markers from China, from Amazon. They're like, they're called, God, what are they called? I think it's one of those ones that just says 84 pieces. It doesn't even have like a brand name. So very inexpensive, old, like 5-year-old alcohol markers I was trying to use up here, which I did for the whole thing. Stickles on the snowflakes. Then I did this one. Same cheap markers. They might be called like Sanyo or something like that. I used my blender with some brown and tan background here, so that's why it looks a little white. See if I can zoom in here, you can see that in my background. You can see this like blends a little. Yeah, I can't use my really expensive mediums in the Deborah Muller printed books because the paper isn't as good. So I try to reserve my really good markers for my printable pages. All right, so we have Holiday Hair. Here's my worst one. This one started out good with the ornaments and went all downhill after that. I think this is right around when I, like for 4 days, I had like 103-degree fever. I was doing this picture and I was just like, I'm just grabbing things. Like, I don't even know what I was doing. I don't even know what happened here. Like, the makeup was terrible. Everything was bad. The only thing I liked in this whole picture were the ornaments. I was using like really cheap mediums, and you can really see the difference when you use cheap markers or mediums compared to the good ones. You can totally see the difference. They don't blend well. They look splotchy. I mean, gosh, like I feel like this is how I used to color when I started in 2017. This one was definitely better. Pan pastels for the background. I used Crayola skin tone markers for the face. Pure on Ohuhu glitter markers for her makeup, her eyes, and on the ornaments. You can see. I do remember that. And some metallic markers on the earrings. So this one wasn't too bad compared to the other one. And that's it for this book. There's one in Witch's Ball from November. I hadn't finished, which I really liked. It's this one. I love this book. I do a couple each year. I think I only got to one this year, but I love, love, love her. And I try to make them all very alternative and really nice color palettes, purple and grays. And this one did the stickle accents in her hair and her eyes for that mystical look on the moon and some other places. Just to give you an idea of, I did gray on her skin. So basically you do regular skin tones markers, and you go over with a very light gray to give you that kind of tint. But here's some others I did in previous years, for example, just to see some of my alternative looking ones. There's an all green one in here somewhere. My all green one. Yep, so I'm working through that one. All right, I have, boy, I was really getting into the Deborah Muller books this fall. 2 more Deborah Mullers here. So for fall vibes, I did this one. Again, very basic alcohol markers, which I had fun with. More of those Mark Art pencils on the eyes do not work quite as well as Prismacolors. Mark Art pencils for the hair. Crayola skin tones for the skin, which I do not like. They don't blend well. I'm just trying to kind of use them up. But again, kind of a vintage retro color palette, which I like. I think there's another one in here I did. This one I did. One more. That is it. Nothing too fancy. All right, this is Halloween all year long. I only have done one page in this whole book. I want to look in here, see if there's any Valentine pictures, since we're in February. I did this one. And I love my headstone. If you look at it, it looks all... That's a dark, a medium, and a light gray with an alcohol blender. To look kind of like that faded and cracking look. I wonder if there's any Valentine pictures. Oh, there's one. One I didn't. I was testing out markers there. I need to look in here, set this aside for any Valentine pictures. I have Winter Chibis and Magical Witches. Also by Deborah Muller. This is an old one. I did this one. I had started this like 3 years ago with some really humdrummy markers, and I, again, trying to use up those Sanyo markers, so I just came in and did the second half with the same markers. I remember I've had these markers for 5 years. They're getting kind of dry, so I did that. Do I have... It's the only one I've done in this book, I believe. Yes, it is. I was just trying to finish that one. Winter Chibis is Alexander Franzisi. This is a new book. This entire page was done with the Mark Art pencils. Mark Art pencils, I'm going to review them and do some demos. Budget pencils. Again, this is Amazon paper. This whole page, except the background, which is alcohol marker, was in the pencils. Took forever. They do not blend that well. And they... I don't know. I'm going to have to do a review on them. I'm going to have to try some different papers. So I just don't like to do a lot of pencil pictures because they take so long. Like you can see how the blending looks a little scratchy. They just did not blend well. That's the only one I did in Winter Chibis. I should set this aside and do another one because we're still in winter. We have Creepy Girl and Spooky Doll. Pictures I have not finished. This is how behind I am. By Southern Lotus, Creepy Girl. Did this one. I did really like this one. It was fun. Again, that basic Amazon paper, it's really hard to get a good look, but I had a big surgery in November. I had my ovaries and fallopian tubes taken out, and just, I was just doing stuff for fun, really. I wasn't trying to do anything too remarkable. I do like this book. Nothing else in here. Spooky Doll, Goliath. 2 pictures in here. I love this book. I really like this book. Did this one, this kind of red-haired rag doll. Love my color theme in this with the button eyes. Thought that was fun. And then Pretty Princess. Hot pink, kind of like Barbie color box. Really liked that one as well. All right. Next I have, these are my last 2. Last 2, Autumn Harvest Creative Haven and Magical Season by Linka Ninka. I love this book. Amazing, amazing paper, silky, smooth, great blending. Did this one for autumn and fall. This was from November. These way better quality markers in here. So this one was fun. I also did it. This one. Look at this, my glitter bells. I love my glitter bells, my glitter halos. Isn't that sweet? Aw. I love this one. Make me happy. I love this book. These are from Etsy. And I love Linka's books. If you're looking for anything similar. My very last one, finally. This is Autumn Harvest by Creative Haven. And a yellow marker because I was still wet when I closed it. So I love this. I love my wood effect I got on there. So for right now, for Valentine's month, I am using a lot of my better mediums and everything because I really did some I want to get back to using my nice stuff now that I'm feeling better. So yeah, that was it. To use alcohol blender in the middle of these berries. That's why they look white. So that is it. That's what I colored for 3 months straight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Tell me which one you like. And I'm going to try to do every month what I did just in 1 month. I don't care if it's 2 pictures. So I'm going to show you what I did February, first week of March. Thanks everybody for watching. See you in the next video.